The New Britain Board of Education, providing students with a high-quality education.
The time is 6:02, and we are going to begin our Board of Education meeting for May 21st. First, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Gail Parker. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just have to say, our kids rock. They are saying the Pledge of Allegiance behind the curtain. That is amazing. All right. Mr. Kanata, if you could please call the roll.
Here.
Mr. Daniels? Here. Mr. Mercier?
Here.
Ms. Louise?
Here.
Ms. Parker?
Here.
Ms. Nancy Rodriguez?
Here.
Mr. Sanders? Ms. Sanders Connolly?
Here.
Ms. Sims?
Here.
Ms. Nicole Rodriguez?
Here. And Mr. Sanders is currently out of the country, so he is not here with us this evening. If we could take a brief moment of meditation and unfortunately keep on our minds and hearts the families of those who have been through tragic losses in Texas and even those in the city of Hartford as of the last few weeks. And then also the hit and run on Allen Street on this weekend. So please keep those in your thoughts. Thank you. We are now going to have our welcome by Vance Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Harris. I'm the very proud principal of Vance Elementary School, and we are going to begin with our salsa students. These are our students who have been working on an after-school program and have been learning how to do salsa, and they are so excited to share their talents with you. Here we go.
That's all right. You ready, guys? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. One more time. Here we go. One more time. And go right now. Go. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2, 5, 6. Here you go. 2, 5, 6, 7. One more time. One more time. Ready? 5. Go forward. Let's go. Let's go. 1. 4 corners. We're going to go right into it. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Regular. 5, 6, 7. Here we go. Heel right now. Ready? Heel, heel. Go, go, go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Okay. Yeah. One more time. Go forward. Let's go. Go. 1. There you go. Hop step right now. Go. 1, 2. There you go. Hop step again. Go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Regular. Here we go. Regular. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Ready? We're gonna go into a flare. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and hold it. And
Yes, you may have this.
A huge thank you to Mr. Junior, who is a parent of a baseball player who just left his son's game to come on over here and make sure our kids got to showcase what they've learned with him after school learning salsa. So fantastic. Big round of applause. Great job, everybody. Great job. Great job. We love it when our students steal the show because we are in a school and we are all about students here. But I just want to begin by saying welcome to everyone. Welcome to the Board of Education. We're so excited you are here at Vance Elementary School for your wonderful meeting tonight. I'm going to begin with our student council. They have a warm welcome for you.
Good evening. My name is Ava, and I am the Vance School Student Council Co-President. Welcome to our extraordinary Vance School. Principal Harris and the Vance School family are happy to host this Board of Education meeting.
Good evening. My name is Alyssa, and I am a member of Vance Village Student Council. I would like to announce our principal, Ms. Harris, who will share details of our upcoming swim showcase.
That was our salsa kids.
Good job.
Good evening. My name is Cecilia, and I'm a member of the Vance School Student Council. While you visit our beautiful school, take a moment to walk around and view our amazing work.
Good evening. My name is Genesis, and please take note of the exit doors in case of an emergency.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I am the secretary. The Student Council plans spirit days, dress down days, and kindness activities. We work on fundraising for our school and also give back to the New Britain community. My name is Brian. Student Council at Vance promotes kindness to each other. We encourage students to treat each other nicely and show respect to every person. We are proud to be part of the Vance School Student Council.
You will now say our Vance Village Pledge. As a proud citizen of the Vance Village, I will do my personal best. I will be respectful, responsible, fair, caring, and trustworthy. When I do this, everyone will have a chance to learn, be creative, and contribute to our world. Enjoy your meeting.
And I would just like our Vance staff that are here to please stand. Vance staff, please stand. Student Council, join me in applauding our awesome staff. Thank you, Vance staff. And if you do get the opportunity, please check out our school and all of the great student work. You can tell our students are hard at work by tremendous effort by our teachers. So just wanted to make sure we showcase. That's the best way to showcase our students is through everything that they are learning. And thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Please, hopefully we can add some more chairs because obviously we tried to do our best to make sure we had enough chairs for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you, Principal Harris, Salsa Team, and Student Council for that very warm welcome. I'd like to acknowledge Christian Rosado. Thank you very much for coming. If you are in the audience and you're an elected official, I do not want to omit you, but I just can't see that far. I guess I'll be honest. So if you are here and you're an elected official, thank you very much for your support, and if you would raise your hand so we can acknowledge you, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so good evening and thank you for coming to the Board of Education meeting this evening. Please note that you will have 3 minutes for your comments, and once the timer sounds, we ask that you would complete your statement and step away from the podium, as we do have many speakers this evening. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please note that the board members are unable to reply to you at this moment, but we will have your name and contact information that is on the sheet, and we will forward it to the appropriate parties who will be able to respond to your request. If you do not have your name on the sheet and you ask to speak after it's over, please make sure that you give your name and information to Mr. Kanata. And once the public participation portion of the meeting is over and closed, we will have a meeting in the public, but it will not be a public meeting. I thank you in advance for your cooperation, and in the spirit of doing what's best for youth, I thank you all for coming out and showing your concern for what's best for our students. If you would mind, please lining up so that you, once you're in, as I call your name, so that we can make the process as smooth as possible. I'm gonna call your names, and then if you could stand in that center aisle, that would be great. The first person on the list is Michael Palin, Evelyn Hudima, Tina Damascus, Mallory Dupre, Abigail Olson, Yvette Guerrera, Teresa Savanchik. I do not want to butcher your name. I believe it's Maeve Maltese, Nicholas Giantonio, Margaret Keith Lear, Sal Escobalas, Nora Pasco, Andrea Foligno, Beth Mazadorian, Olga Augusto, Audrey, I'm sorry, and I'm not even going to attempt to butcher your name. I think it's Wayne. Sherry Sternachek, Michael Foran, Laura Bolke, Susan Girolomoni, thank you, Marie Connecticut, thank you, and Kate Keithlear. I apologize. Although I just said your names, please state your name and address for the record.
There wasn't a speaker before me. I don't know.
Michael Palin? Okay, so he can just hop in line when he gets.
We're good? What's me? Oh, we're all ready? Hello? Hello?
Does it take to get sound working? Definitely is power on. This one has a button as well.
In the meantime, thank you, Alderman
Are you Mr.
Pavone,
Palin?
for
Okay.
attending our meeting this
All
evening.
you.
I should be singing this intro.
No, we're not voting.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on, check. That's it. That's all you got. Can we just? Yeah, we can just move the podium. Oh, that's not. side, because we don't have a mic. Just have the thing right here.
We can just move the podium.
So I'm saying the first thing, get the first thing, just not the podium, first thing. Is that? Can you swing this way? Unless you would like to move it all.
There we go. Getting closer. Yeah, give me solutions.
There you go. Stand.
Turn this sideways so we can see who. Yeah, we'll make it work. There we go.
And if you'd like to do a musical selection, this is the time. All right, so that concludes your 3 minutes. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We have made adjustments, and we apologize to our television staff. We made do. Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Palin. I live at 72 Sherrill Street, New Britain, Connecticut. I have 2 students that are enrolled in New Britain High School. I was a public school music teacher for 10 years. I have a master's degree in education and policy. I'd just like to say that the present environment at New Britain High School has been totally rewarding for my children. Primarily because of the diversity of what they can pursue and what they can study. My daughter Claire plays in jazz band, concert band. She's in the madrigals. She's in concert choir. She's on the tennis team. She's in the top 10% of her class. And I wouldn't trade her experience at New Britain High School for anything. Under what's being reviewed tonight, what I could glean from the article in the Herald yesterday or Saturday morning, whatever it was. Or was it this morning? It was this morning, wasn't it? The new block scheduling is going to be very impactful on electives, and impactful in a negative way. And it saddens me to hear this because it was the variety and the ability for my children to pursue multiple electives, language, arts, at the same time. With that said, I understand and I applaud the district for constantly trying to pursue an improvement or a solution to what is deemed underperforming in the eyes of the state. It's very clear. But at the same time, I've seen programs that come in as a third party to offer suggestions and solutions. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little negative here. They all just seem to be used car salesmen. They're not intrinsically aware of the idiosyncrasies of our demographic, our school system, and what makes it so special. The one-size-fits-all option doesn't work in New Britain High School. We need flexibility to reward students that want to pursue a diverse education, not being strapped in a program that limits what they can experience. That's all I have to say.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Evelyn Hudema. I'm a New Britain High School teacher, and I live at 174 Market Street. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of another teacher who is part of the involuntary transfer process. I worked with Vanessa Barneski for 4 years before I became an educator, a teacher in the classroom. I worked with her closely as a paraprofessional. She was hired in 1992, and she's presently regarded as a highly trained, self-contained classroom teacher for externalizing emotionally disturbed students at New Britain High School. She's created a very supportive environment and has a reputation of doing very well by her students and supporting activities throughout the building, a number of clubs and activities that she's always been a member of or a leader of. She recently pointed out that the rationale given to her for this move was, quote, in the best interest of the district. What's missing is the most important part. The word student or children are nowhere in it. We are not a business. This sadly is how many parts of this redesign feel. Mental health is such a focus these days, and has our district really considered the emotional, fragile child and those in her classroom who are truly devastated upon hearing the news of her reassignment. They are like family. Together multiple years in a self-contained classroom. This is an anti-looping tactic, purposefully breaking healthy relationships students and teachers create to enhance learning. Has the district also considered safety? Despite the minimal ALICE training the district has offered, Ms. Barneski uses countless other methods of safety in her externalizing emotionally disturbed class. And swapping in a new teacher into this young adult age externalizing class safe for the school at large? Vanessa has been transferred via script, email, and letter without an explanation already twice this month to Slade Middle School and then to Smalley Elementary with the rationale that doesn't add up. She's never taught in an elementary setting. Teachers are not district substitutes to be bounced around. There's no budget savings because her position is being swapped with another teacher from Smalley. There's no correlation to this impact with test scores. Are they really the fit for other places, or is this just a goal to make them move? Why sacrifice the good of the high school kids for the good of other kids? Where's the data to choose the people over other equally certified staff? And just because the certification says pre-K to 12, it doesn't make people equally comfortable in all areas. The students in her class can become very challenging, and this is a position that requires experience and true passion. She loves these kids from the bottom of her heart, and I've seen that. And she's dedicated herself to the building and the program. Transferring seems like a punishment for doing a job well, and transparency is lacking. Approximately 100 people are being involuntarily moved to other schools, probably hundreds forced into positions within their schools, hundreds more burdened with assisting all the new people that they will encounter in the fall. Likely even more will retire or resign over the summer with this frustration. This has created an all-time low in morale. Yes, that is going to have a negative impact on the children in our schools. It's way more than just a change for our teachers. It's not in the best interest of our youth. Are the long-range plans even developed? People were told it's not going to look pretty next year, but we will work through it. Why knowingly do the avoidable? Again, as you notice the phrase, in the good of the district, it makes the most important part, our students. What is in the best interest of our students? Thank you.
One moment before you start. So that sound that you hear, we don't want it to be aggressive, but if you hear that sound, the beeping, it's like 3 short beeps and then 3 more. I need you to wrap up because the line is long and we do want everyone to be heard. So your 3 minutes is very valuable, but we need you to use your 3 minutes. Okay? Thank you very much.
I'm going to try not to get emotional, but it's probably not going to work. My name is Tina Diamici, and I live at 807 Slater Road. I am a veteran teacher of 20 years. Over the course of my career, I have had the opportunity to work in 4 different states and 5 different districts. I am not afraid of change. I have now been a resident of this city and a teacher with the Consolidated School District of New Britain nearly 2 years. In this time, I have consistently been told that in this district, we make choices based on what's best for our children. In light of recent decisions, I'm having trouble believing this. I'm a victim of the recent district redesign. I have been involuntarily transferred from my position as an English teacher at De Loretto Dual Language Magnet School to a position as a middle school elective advisory teacher at Slade next year. I'm having trouble understanding this decision. Per union contract, prior to an involuntary transfer, the employee being transferred is entitled to a face-to-face consultation, at which time they are supposed to be informed of the reason for the transfer. During this consultation, I asked two very specific questions. How does my current certification qualify me for this new position? And why, out of all the English teachers in this district, was I chosen as a teacher to be transferred? The answer I was given to both of these questions was, we don't know. I have received National Board Certification of Professional Teaching Standards in English Language Arts, Adolescent Young Adult, grades 7 through 12. I am a certified teacher consultant for the National Writing Project. In Florida, I was a fully certified ESOL teacher, as well as a fully certified reading teacher, K through 12. Though I have not carried these certifications with me when I moved to Connecticut, I still have all of the additional training and knowledge in my wheelhouse to use when teaching in an English classroom. In other states, I have received highly qualified status in both English and reading and have been labeled a Master English Teacher. At a bilingual academy, I am currently the only bilingual English teacher. My twin 11-year-old sons attend De Loretto. And I literally bought a house across the street in November. I coach the boys' soccer team, take part in the DIMSLA camping trip, and attend almost every after-school event that De Loretto sponsors. I have built relationships with the students, their families, and the staff at my school. It is not just a place where I work, it is my home. I, along with many others, am left with questions. How does my certification qualify me for my new position? Why, out of all of the English teachers in the district, was it decided that I should no longer be working in a content area in which I am highly qualified? What is the data specific to our district that says the planned redesign is indeed the best way to help our students? What final impact will all of this eventually have on our children, our teachers, and our district at large? For me personally, my heart is breaking. We are people, not paper, and I am more than my certification.
Good evening.
Good evening. Two things before she starts. This is not a back and forth conversation. I know that you want to support and show solidarity, but I ask that you refrain when they're talking from saying anything. And also please be mindful there are still students in the room. You have the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Sarah. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mallory Dupre. I live at 40 Simcoe Drive. I am a lifelong resident of New Britain, a product of the New Britain Public Schools, former Board of Ed member, a current youth program director, and a coalition member for the Coalition for New Britain's Youth. For many years, it has been challenging to gain the support from the school district and to be viewed as an asset to our students. After-school programs are often looked at as babysitters and optional activities. However, after-school and summer programs help to increase homework completion, improve student achievement, and aid in the development of skills and behaviors important for academic success, such as attendance, getting along with others, motivation to learn, classroom participation, and so on. As a resident, I have to say that because of Nancy's vision for the school district, the community feels supported in our efforts and strategies to increase graduation rates, combat teen pregnancy, and help to prepare our young people for college, career, and life. Our Summer C program, which has been highlighted and awarded nationally multiple times, is a prestigious initiative that proves to be successful in combating summer learning loss. The teachers and community partners are aligned in their teaching, but most of all, it is a program that highlights appropriate and positive adult-to-child relationships. School community partnership committees have been formed in our middle schools, which allows program providers and school administrators to meet on a monthly basis and review student-focused initiatives such as academics, attendance, and behaviors. There is a stronger communication between program providers to eliminate students from program hopping and to remain committed to the program that's best suited for them as an individual. The YWCA Strive program has been in existence for 30 years, and in the past 3 years, we have been able to develop stronger relationships with our target population by intentionally targeting students for participation. A quick success story. This year, we were able to place our staff in the middle schools to shadow our program participants within their classroom. This helped us know more of what's going on during the day academically and to keep communication open with teachers while assisting to keep our students on task. We have been serving multiple students that were placed in a special ed class, so that was our focus. One of the students was placed there based on her behavior. However, we were concerned because we knew she was a bright kid, but she also remained engaged after school. After a few weeks of classroom shadowing, we realized that the classroom setting that she was in was triggering her behaviors. We were able to advocate for change of environment, and she's now excelling in an honors class. I will end with this. I believe in Nancy's vision of restructuring. I believe that she is creating an educational playing field where all youth can succeed. To do this, we have to change adult behaviors and ignore the negative kickback. I thank you, Superintendent Sarah, for taking on this challenge, because we all know that when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abigail Olson. I live on 63 Gary Drive. I'm a 9th grade freshman at MBHS. I have heard many different people talk about this new block scheduling. I would like to say that next year's schedule will not work at MBHS for every student. It does not make sense for students to drop the electives they would like to take that they were offered in the beginning of the school year. When I came to MBHS for the opportunities that were said that I could have. Like, for example, I took biomed and Spanish and treble choir. Next year, I was told I could only have one elective. I don't think it's fair to know that many different teachers and students are being limited based on their electives. Students like me will not be able to take any of the classes that they would like to take next year in the future. That would help us in college. I hope these words can help persuade you to not do any more block scheduling and help see from a student's perspective how this is negatively impacting us. Thank you.
My name is Yvette Guerra. I live in 41 Audubon Street in New Britain. I am a teacher with 24 years of experience, 12 of them in Puerto Rico, and the rest here in New Britain Public School. I have been highly involved with the Spanish language development program, and as a result, I started last year my second master's degree in Spanish as a modern language. This year, I worked and put in many hours with the revision of the SLD scope and sequence. And I created the benchmark assessment for foundation and academic level for the last 3 quarters of this school year. I was informed last week that I will be one of the second grade teachers at Smalley Academy, which made me think that all my preparation, my experience, and my expertise in Spanish have lost value, as I am not longer in the position that I am most passionate about. I understand that due to saving jobs, and I have more than one certification, that my position needed to be transferred. But this transfer is not student-centered, because I barely have experience teaching second grade regular. We cannot expect to solve the lack of progress that we in the district have been struggling with by randomly assigning teachers to positions that are not a good fit for them. I understand that we need to change. However, a better approach will be matching the teacher to a position according to their qualification, expertise, and strengths, because at the very end, the ones that will be affected are our students. Miss Sarah, you said that your plan for change is student-centered and that the goal for next year is improving teaching and learning. My question is, are the placements that were made truly for the best interest of our students? And will this change improve teaching and learning? At least, that is not my case. Thank you so very much.
Good evening. My name is Teresa Storanchuk, and I live at 8 Fairlane Drive here in New Britain. And I'm also a paraeducator for the district with 22 years vested up to this point. I am also the president of the Paraeducator Union, Local 2407, much of the reason I am speaking tonight. It has come to the point of seeking out guidance and understanding of the district-wide redesign that is pretty much in place and moving right along. There are more rumors and stories that I hear every day about different things going on, staff being upset because of what has happened to them, schedule changes, grade level changes, and so on. Paraeducators will be working in impacted schools because of all the changes, and not once have we been included in any of the roundtable stakeholder discussions. To have to always see things in the paper, hear it from colleagues or through the rumor mill is discouraging. Paraeducators are an integral part of the New Britain school system, deserving more. We work with some of the most emotionally as well as socially placed students. On any given day, it's the para that is expected to be flexible and go with the flow because of redirection of assignment or changes to their schedule. We are pulled all the time and expected to change on the drop of a dime. But when it comes to being communicated to about the redesign, we are told it doesn't impact paraeducators. I believe no one here would agree with that. It impacts all of us working in this district. Why are things not explained to everyone is our question. Why do paraeducators always find out things well after the fact? 85% of our members are living here, working here, and among the community stakeholders that want to be included. We have always believed that we were valued, but lately that just doesn't seem to be the case. Please help us understand why it's okay to disregard us with such an important undertaking such as this. If I might just add a personal note, I think piloting this venture would be a much more effective challenge considering the impact it is going to place on everyone. Change can be good, and if it's done the right way, disrupting so many, especially all of our kids, seem counterproductive. And if not done the right way, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maeve Maltese. I live at 11 Everett Street, and I am a New Britain High School senior. Before entering New Britain High as a freshman, I attended a very small parochial school. At first, I felt intimidated upon entering New Britain High because I had never attended such a big school, and I wasn't sure how I would fit in or find my place. However, soon enough, I began to explore all the elective opportunities that MBHS has to offer its students. I owe a large portion of my success as a student there to these opportunities, which have allowed me to not only enhance my educational experience, but also grow and discover myself as a person. I've always been very passionate about music, but never had a chance in middle school to develop my skills as a musician and performer. During my time at New Britain High, I have been a part of all 3 choirs in the music department. This gave me the chance to not only become more comfortable as a performer, but also create friendships with people who share the same interests. Additionally, I joined band during my sophomore year and had the luxury of taking both a band and a choral class to continue working on my musical abilities every day. This year, I am a section leader in the band and an active member in the choral and theater department. If it were not for the opportunity to take classes for these activities, I would not have been able to become so integrated in the music program. I also had the opportunity to take Italian classes for 3 years through the language department. This was an extremely exciting opportunity for me because I was never able to choose the language I wished to learn in middle school, and I was able to become more connected to my own Italian heritage by being able to learn the language. I was also able to travel to Italy during my junior year with other students in the language department, giving me a much more immersive study experience. Next year, I plan to attend college to major in nursing. I was thrilled to learn about the CNA course offered through the Health Academy, where students have the opportunity to do clinical hours and get classroom experience to prepare to take the state nursing exam in May. I took this exam today and can proudly say that I am now a certified nursing assistant. will benefit me greatly in my professional endeavors as I enter college and can get a jump start in my career in nursing. New Britain High School's educational curriculum is unique compared to surrounding districts because they are focused on providing students with the chance to branch out of the Common Core curriculum and really discover what makes them passionate. We currently offer a multitude of opportunities for students to take elective classes so they can discover their educational goals and find out who they are as people. I do not support the plan for block scheduling, and I am a huge advocate for allowing students to choose multiple electives to put into their schedules because I have experienced myself the educational and personal benefits of being able to do so. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Chantonio. I live at 185 Birchwood Drive. Good evening. Recently, we have been informed of a scheduling plan for freshmen and sophomores, an idea that is not so ideal for our students at New Britain High School. A plan that is taking away opportunities, limiting success, not preparing our students for college, and that is just not fair. When I chose to go to New Britain High School, I chose to go there for a reason, as New Britain High School was a school that had a tremendous amount to offer. From the Health Academy track to the Finance Academy to the amazing music department that New Britain High offers. All those opportunities become very limited with this schedule. The new schedule plan limits the success of high-achieving students who won't be able to take the electives of their choice. Electives like PBS or HBS that can count as an AP or honors credit. 2 years or more of a foreign language are normally required for colleges. Students should not have to choose between classes that interest them and a college requirement. High school is supposed to be a time for exploration in one's life, a time where students should be figuring out what they want to do with their lives, and with limitations included in this schedule plan, it will become near impossible for students to do so. Finally, this plan is unjust. It is unfair for the students who excel in high school to have to suffer because of those who simply don't care. From my understanding, the reasoning that this plan was put into place was to keep students in classrooms and learning. However, how is it fair to the students who are always doing what they're doing? The students that care about school and come each and every day ready to learn. I can tell everyone here one thing, and that is that this plan will not bring the reputation of New Britain High School up, because all the students who are currently excelling in school will switch schools simply because of the lack of concern that the administration has for them and how this might affect them in their future. Thank you.
My name is Margaret Keithline. I live at 76 Laurel Road. I'm a 2016 graduate of New Britain High School and just completed my sophomore year at Boston College. I am here to express concern about the schedule redesign model, one which I think sets students back and does not provide them with the same opportunities I had in high school. With great confidence, I can say that it was the combination of my language skills and involvement in the music department through courses over my 4 years in high school that got me accepted to Boston College and other schools of similar academic rigor. My 4 years of Spanish language prepared me and inspired me to minor in Spanish in college, and had I not taken 4 years of languages, I would have entered in college at a lower level of Spanish and thus been unable to minor. Likewise, my commitment to band and choral classes all 4 years of high school allowed me to attain leadership positions in the music department, which afforded me great experiences in high school and were desirable during the college application process. Finally, the opportunity to take an engineering class my freshman year, along with these other electives, helped me to narrow my interests, something that high school is all about. Taking away the opportunity to participate in these electives is really taking away the best New Britain has to offer. So our reading and math scores school-wide are not high. Is there not a way to address that without taking away the areas where we have consistently seen success? Music, languages, and the biomedical program. Multilingualism is something New Britain has to offer that many towns who outperform us do not. We are not celebrating diversity. Why are we not celebrating diversity in native language and pursuing new languages academically instead of making students choose between a language and that one Finance Academy class they really want to take? These electives complement each other and facilitate student success when students actually have a choice in the matter. It's not just the success I reap directly from these 4 years of multiple elective courses that's important. They were also sometimes the only courses I truly enjoyed in school. Many of my peers and I would feel extremely drained and disinterested and want to skip a day of school, yet it was the elective courses that kept me going during tough AP tests and stressful times. While I understand disengagement in core classes is part of the reason to restructure, to take away the best part of the day for students is unfair and does not seem like student-centered change. My commitment and success in my electives, specifically language and music, was essential in my success beyond New Britain High School. New Britain High School, without all of these opportunities, would have prevented me from meeting peers at different academic levels, as electives are typically the only place to do so. At New Britain High School, without all of these electives, would not have allowed me to go to the college I am going to now. A New Britain High School without all of these electives is not one in which I would have excelled.
Which one is it? This one? Okay. I'm just going to put this on the table and hand this around. These are some testimonies from other teachers who unfortunately couldn't make it. They've got family, things at home. So this is for the board. They asked me to submit them for the board for you to read at your leisure. Okay. For my family. Proverb 28:1 tells us that the wicked flee when no one pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. The rules of engagement. We are not here to burn down the castle. We're not here to castigate the superintendent or cabinet as leaders, and unlike others who choose the convenience, and I would argue the cowardice, of social media to air misinformed concerns, we come here simply to take part in democracy that is our birthright in this nation. I hope so, still there. Many of the people behind me, my family over here, are happy with their assignments, yet they're here to support their colleagues. Who are not obviously happy with their assignments. We are not here to speak about the several other concerns the membership has. God knows that in recent days I could have spoken out about all of those and chose not to, at all. Although I wear many hats in this town tonight, I am simply and plainly speaking out as the top representative of Local 871 union members, many who find themselves confused on why they were treated with utter disregard by the district that they love. And I mean love. They love the kids, they love their family and their schools, they love where they are. These same members, time and time again, go above and beyond the contract and are involved in many off-the-book after-school activities and fundraising operations for the sakes of students that no one ever really notices. They don't ask for anything more than the opportunity to work with the kids. To be questioned if we are keeping the kids at the center or not, given what many teachers are doing on behalf of them, is extremely disappointing. All of this has polarized the district and the community as expected and set up a we-they situation between members of two large unions in this city. Now, as for the redesign and the subsequent treatment of 871 members in the district, the main issue is that it has caused a great deal of rancor due to the rollout of the transfers and the lack of communication associated with many position changes, especially STEAM. Many of us came to the dinners, we listened, we reflected on it with the full understanding that change is ever present and difficult. Let's be honest, we have seen parts of this movie before. This, however, is something different. In fact, some would argue unprecedented. We spent more time putting T-Val together before we rolled it out than what's being spent here, by our estimates. One of the predicates of why this is to be done is because of the $2.5 million budget shortfall, and we do not want to lay people off. I've said it in many places, so this is nothing new. Local 871 would once again ask that the words layout be used carefully and thrown in our direction. Many of you up there at those tables keenly are aware that the union, Local 871, took a hard zero for raises in exchange for no layoffs in the first year of the contract, which starts in 2 months. We might as well be in that year. As I've already said, semantics aside, we are essentially cycling the budget in that direction as we speak. In addition, we've had a number of retirements that will also further the budgetary wiggle room, as some of those people will be replaced at considerable savings. My understanding is that we'll start spending $98,000 of those dollars tonight to get the programming for STEAM started, for a program that will start in just a few months. But enough about that. We are being asked about whether concerns over feasibility of the redesign and the subsequent 90+ transfers that occurred are student-centered. Getting our reading interventions team essentially and throwing them out, the baby with the bathwater, with no further exploration of modifying or hybridizing the existing models, which according to the literature has shown promise and resource tapped districts such as ours. That's not student-centered. There's a lot more, but Christina pretty much captured everything that's going on and what's bad about this plan. We have not been at the table yet. We're hoping we'll be at the table in the future.
Hello, my name is Nora Pasco.
I'm a graduate of the New Britain school system, a taxpayer, a voter, and a parent of a child in the New Britain public school system. I believe in public education, and I'm here to talk to you about the negative impact involuntary teacher transfers have on our public schools. Ms. Sarah, I have read your arguments in favor of teacher transfers. You have stated rightly that graduation begins in kindergarten, but you have also argued that reorganizing the faculty in our schools will boost academic achievement. I believe that argument is misguided. Not only have there been a lack of studies that show this policy has any kind of academic success rate, but your argument ignores the fact that teachers do not function exclusively in an academic capacity. Teachers play a crucial role in the social and emotional development of children. How can they provide a strong support system for their students if they are constantly living with stress and uncertainty in their professional lives? Loss of job or job change is consistently listed as one of the top 10 life stressors by healthcare professionals and psychologists. Even teachers who are not transferred undergo undue stress and suffer from this policy because it divides teams. And teachers are less likely to want to invest in the school in which they teach when they don't know if their position there is permanent. I am here because I feel very grateful to have received the support of so many New Britain teachers throughout the years. My teachers not only provided me with a strong academic foundation, but were there for me in times of emotional upheaval. They went above and beyond and were always available to talk to after school, even when I had moved beyond the grade they taught. Those relationships were necessary constants in a childhood filled with many chaotic variables. When you move teachers, you're not just taking them away from a school, you're taking them away from a student. And you could say, well, I'll be giving them to a new child, but that's not really true. Because teachers aren't going to be able to make those long-term emotional investments if they don't know where they'll be from one year to the next. Involuntary transfers cause teachers who have put years of hard work into the New Britain school system to feel undervalued. When employees feel undervalued, they are less likely to perform to their fullest potential. This is bad for morale and bad for education. And you could say that the best teachers will be able to adapt, but the bottom line is you have teachers adapting to survive, and I do not want my son's teachers to be surviving, I want them to be thriving. Graduation does begin in kindergarten. My child attends pre-K at Lincoln, and he will be entering kindergarten this fall. I sincerely hope that he will be taught by someone who specializes in kindergarten, loves teaching kindergarten, has an intact team, and is not worried about maintaining their job position. I want my child to have the same amazing quality of education that I was privileged to receive during my time in the New Britain school system. And to all the teachers out there, happy belated Teacher Appreciation. I love you, stay strong, and always remember you are loved.
Good evening, Superintendent Sarah, board members, administrators, educators, and all other stakeholders. My name is Andrea Feligno. I'm a proud New Britain resident and employee of the New Britain school system. Over the last 18 years working in New Britain, I have had the pleasure of working with many remarkable, passionate, dedicated professionals who are committed to the students and families of New Britain. Many are here tonight. All working hard to address the social, emotional, and academic challenges of our students, which we can all agree is no easy task. Yet no matter how hard we work, we continue to remain at the bottom of our dirt. I think we can all agree that something needs to change in order to yield a different result. I know while some are excited about the redesigned model, others have reservations, and that the impact of the restructuring varies from person to person and building to building, and that change at any level can be uncomfortable and at times difficult. While emotions may vary, I am hopeful that in the end, whatever the outcome, we can come together as a unified force for the good of our students and our community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Beth Mazadorian. Good evening, Superintendent Sarah and members of the Board of Education. I'm here tonight to thank you. In a few short weeks, my younger daughter will graduate from New Britain High School, joining the ranks of three generations of family members who are New Britain High School alumni. Next fall, she will join her older sister, who you just heard from, at college. A passion for the New Britain schools is something that everyone in my family is able to share. The New Britain schools provided my children with many wonderful opportunities. In addition to the strong core academic foundation, there are two areas which have been the most significant in their development and to their success after high school. The first is the world language offerings they've received. It was a dual language program that enabled me to convince my West Hartford-raised husband to purchase a home in New Britain so that our children could attend De Loreto, which provided them a strong foundation in Spanish in their early years. At New Britain High School, both were able to complete the full sequence of course offerings in Spanish. My older daughter credits proficiency in Spanish as a main factor in being hired for a position she held last year. The language skills both my girls have acquired will provide them both enjoyment and opportunity for years to come. The music program played a profound impact on both of my children. From their early days in elementary school, it was a given that they would join the New Britain High School Golden Hurricane Marching Band, and so instruments were selected that would make this a reality. Participation in the marching band has been a benefit for both of them as they learn lessons of teamwork, pride, determination, and leadership. My older daughter became the drum major and my younger the head majorette, and it is clear to me that their leadership positions in band were a major factor in their admittance to college. In addition to band, both girls were able to be part of the treble choir and later the madrigal singers. The participation in the choral department fostered poise and resulted in confidence. Performing with these ensembles created memories that my daughters will cherish forever. If you had the opportunity to attend the Addams Family production, the VH1 Thank You Concert, or Music Mania, I imagine you were as blown away as I was by how fantastic all of these three programs sounded. While I realize I'm biased, I think that all of the ensembles sounded better than they ever had. As a parent and a resident of this city, I felt tremendous pride that as other districts have allowed the arts to wither, New Britain has reinforced and strengthened our program, and it certainly showed in those performances. Next year, I will not have a child in the district, but I know how much music means to my students. I've watched a student relocated by Hurricane Maria find a new home in the marching band. I've watched a shy freshman turn into a confident, poised performer, and I've watched students who struggle to focus in class count the minutes until they can perform in a halftime show. My children benefited greatly, and I hope that future students will have the same wonderful opportunities.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Olga Agosto, maestra de español en la escuela Di Loreto. Good evening, everybody. My name is Olga Agosto, and I teach Spanish language development at Di Loreto. I just wanted to approach the board and say that I understand the reasons behind the redesign and the change, and I think change has been the only constant, right, in public education. But I just, and I came to New Britain in 1999, and since then, I have worked in every single school. So I know what change is like, and I embrace it because I learn something new every time. Right? But this is my real concern. At Di Loreto, we have been working on developing the SLD program and doing the best that we can to bring quality education for Spanish language learners. And one thing is connected to the other. Learning Spanish or knowing Spanish as your language, native language, is very connected to your cognitive development in your second language. And I will be now working at Smalley, which I will give my all, like I always do, whatever school I go. But I'm concerned on if there's going to be a replacement for me at Di Loreto, and who's going to be doing that? Because I believe that our students deserve the very best. And I would like to know that whoever is replacing me, who have been there since 2011, and I think I'm doing a great job teaching Spanish, but I would like to know that whoever's going to replace me or my colleague, that there is someone that really knows Spanish and that could give the very best to these students. The other point that I wanted to bring is that according to our administrators, they had no idea of who was going to be moved except beyond the STEAM teachers. So it would have been nice to kind of talk to everybody else, because I have certification in bilingual and regular and in administration as well. And I know that in my next position, I'll be doing a great job because I always give my all to the kids. But if that's not the case for everyone, we should really look into that carefully, because like everybody has expressed here before, the ultimate goal is the kids. They need to improve, and they cannot, our district has so many ELLs, and I'm very concerned about the quality of instruction that is being given to the kids up to now in ELD and SLD. And I hope that, Nancy, you continue the conversations with teachers like you have been doing the past 2 years, because I think we can do a lot better than what we are doing right now. And I encourage the board to please inquire what is happening, what type of instruction it's given to our kids. You should know the details. What is being given to the English language learners and what is being given to the Spanish language learners. Because they're here and they're gonna continue to come, and that is a big part of our diversity. I don't know how much percentage it is right now, but it's a big part of our diversity. And we need to feel that whatever they bring to the table counts, and it's important. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Honig-Garagosian of 191 Vine Street. I'm a bit of a unicorn. My husband and I this year chose to move our daughter out of private school and into the New Britain Public Schools. And we are delighted that we did that. Our daughter has been thriving here at Vance. She's been in the LEAP program. She's been a credit to her school. She's been a credit to the district. We love our school and we adore our teachers. So it pains me to say that I'm here. I'm dismayed, to say the least, to learn dribs and drabs about fundamental changes to the whole school system without a word of communication to parents. The board's February 20th minutes reference transformational change, but other than a few stories in the Herald, there's been nothing communicated to me. Nor is there anything for me to read in the minutes of the board or anywhere else I've tried to find it. I used to be a reporter. I'm pretty good at finding things if they're in public places or even not public places. And communication is one of the district core values in your 5-year strategic plan, as is whole child education and increasing parent satisfaction. Posing informal survey questions on a Facebook page is not communication. I will confess that I know more about the state budget and reading the city budget than the average human should. And because of this, it's also clear that because we in New Britain spend 167th of the 169 towns per pupil on each of our children's education, we have to give up in order to get anything new. I'm guessing at this, kind of, because no one's really explained anything to me about what's coming that's new in any official capacity. But here today, I'd like to question the wisdom of some of the things I hear. like eliminating the library entirely for the sake of the shiny object of the moment, a makerspace for STEAM and STEM, the acronym of the year, or actually the class year. I would question the wisdom of eliminating the LEAP program, which, other than the additional work that's provided by our already very hardworking teacher on her own, is the only additional challenge provided to my child who is not in need of special education but is at the other end of the spectrum. And I question the wisdom of putting elementary students on a quarter system where some of them are going to go 6 months of the year without physical education.
I understand your passion. I am passionate myself. I need you to let her finish, and then you could applaud the whole thing. But I need you to let her finish. There are several more people that need to speak, and it's only fair. Thank you so much for your participation.
I promise I'm almost done. I also question the wisdom of consolidating 4 fifth-grade classes here to 3, which means that in my case, my child's class size increases 40% to almost 30 children in one fell swoop. I would urge you to make your plans for transformational change transparent to parents. We deserve to know what's planned for our children, and if we're valued stakeholders in this district, we've been left out of the discussion. I don't know what you have planned in the best interest of my child. I'd really like to know. Thank you.
My name is Sherry Sturanchuk. I'm coming to you today as a parent of a 4th grade student at Lincoln Elementary School. I'm here to express some pretty significant concerns about, again, what I'm hearing. I haven't got confirmation from any of my school or educational leaders at the building or the essential office level. However, I'm very concerned about the potential removal of the LEAP program that currently provides enrichment to high-achieving students. My son currently participates in lieu of the STEAM program. In a school system, as we know, that is performing at the bottom of the state and well below the national average, I feel that it's critical that the curriculum is differentiated in some way that does promote rigor and cognitive engagement for my student. Similar to the woman that just spoke previously, the LEAP program is really my son's only opportunity for that differentiated enrichment that he does receive. That is in no way a reflection of the incompetency or the limited skill set of his teacher, who is doing a tremendous job with the limited resources that she has. So with that said, I'm also very much concerned about the behavioral concerns that we know that are associated with students who don't receive developmentally appropriate academic challenges. With that said, I'm, again, very well aware of the practical constraints, time, money, human capital, class sizes that, as of this year, my son's class did reach about 28 students, and again, not a reflection of teacher competency. However, it's very clear that our student needs disproportionately outweigh the resources that we have on both ends of the bell curve. And I'm really here to plead to you to keep both ends of the bell curve in mind when you're implementing the STEAM program, to ensure that there's some opportunity for these teachers to have common planning time, leveled resources. I'm very much concerned about the overall quality of education and how this is going to impact his opportunities. And again, I can't help but acknowledge the ongoing tensions within the school climate that are further compromising teacher morale, which we know undoubtedly has an impact on teaching and learning. As a taxpayer, as an educator myself, as an emotionally invested parent, I look forward to an opportunity to learn more about the STEAM program implementation and how materials will be leveled to meet the unique needs of all children. I really hope that it is not necessary that I have to explore other alternatives to ensure that my son gets one of the most valuable assets that life has to offer, a quality education. Thank you.
my name is
Closer.
Good evening. My name is Michael Foran. I'm at 287 Steel Street. I'm a 31-year teacher and administrator in the district, parent of 2 graduates of New Britain High School, and highly committed to the changes that we're about to embark on. 164 out of 166. That's a number that hasn't been mentioned yet tonight and needs to be at the forefront of all our thinking. What's really inspiring about these changes is that they're grounded on the belief that our students can do better, and they're also grounded on the belief that the answer to the problems that our students are having come from within the teaching staff that exists within our school system. While the foundation of restructuring is a belief in our students and our teachers, the implementation involves 2 major components. First is to give teachers a significant block of time, in addition to the contractual planning time, to work collaboratively with peers to improve teaching and learning. The second is to ensure all students receive enrichment activities. Research clearly supports the positive impact that these 2 things can have on student achievement. Another reality is that we have very limited resources. A third reality is we cannot successfully recruit and retain quality teachers if we lay off new teachers. It is imperative to the long-term success of our district that we make every effort to avoid teacher layoffs. I applaud the Teachers Union and the Board of Education for agreeing to a contract that mandates no layoffs in the first year. What we need to understand is that to meet this mandate with diminished resources, teacher movement is required. At the same time, I am very aware of all the anxiety that some people are experiencing because of restructuring. I'm also very aware of all the efforts that have been made to be transparent in this process. I attended the 4 open meetings that the superintendent held for staff and saw every question that anyone had be answered. We received several email messages explaining both the process and rationale for changes, including some of the research that's behind that. In closing, we must recognize the reality of our current situation, 164 out of 166. Our students are not achieving and our staff is not experiencing success at the level they should be, given how hard they are working. I recognize the change is very difficult for some people. I also have heard from many teachers who are energized and excited about the change. I know that the restructuring we are beginning is not perfect and will not be without challenges. We will have to continue to learn and grow as this process progresses. Yes, change is difficult, but continuing to do what we have been doing, given the results we've been getting, is unacceptable. Thank you.
Good evening, Laura Bolke, 1897 Stanley Street. While I am a proud member of the Superintendent's Cabinet and in support of her vision, I am here tonight to read an anonymous statement that was shared with me by a recent graduate of New Britain High School. As a class of 2017 NAF-tracked graduate of New Britain High School, I am excited about the new changes that are being implemented that will give students at New Britain High School more access to many entry-level academy classes. This is due to the block scheduling. I feel that this access will allow more students to learn about what interests them earlier and then be able to achieve NAF-track certification, which opens doors to many opportunities for college and career. As a former student of New Britain High School, I would like all the teachers to know your hard work is appreciated. You changed so many students' lives in more ways than one. When I started as a freshman at New Britain High School, my passion for business was blurred. The Academy of Finance has been a great stepping stone to brighten my future. Becoming an ambassador gives me a chance to impart my wisdom on underclassmen unsure of what an academy can provide and to teach them as they develop and mature throughout high school. These changes can make a big difference. Allowing more students to access academy courses is a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marie Catapult. I'm a parent at Lincoln School, and I volunteer there. I am here today because I want the students in our school to see, and I've been seeing firsthand the powerful impact arts education can have on the students' academic success. I don't think moving art, gym, and music into one trimester each for elementary schools is a good idea. For example, some students who don't connect with the everyday lessons, math, English, science, bloom in music, gym, and art. They're able to articulate what they're feeling inside and use their voices, instruments, or paintbrushes to do so. Are they supposed to be happy for 3 months and miserable for 6? With childhood obesity on the rise, especially in low-income neighborhoods, gyms need to be all around. A healthy, physically active student is more likely to be alert and successful in academic endeavors. Young children need to release energy. At least in the middle school and high school level, they are able to join a club or a team. I had a nice discussion with one of the board members via email over the weekend. He stated, quote, "If our students are taking PE 5 days a week for longer period of time, it is likely going to build in them a habit of mind, body, and get them to a place where they will be more likely to continue to be active afterwards. Imagine the difference an adult would feel if they only went to the gym once or twice a week for 30 minutes as opposed to going every day for an hour. Who will be more equipped to continue to maintain an active lifestyle after 12 weeks?" End quote. We're talking about young children, as young as 4 to 5 years old at the beginning of the school year, not an adult. I lost the place. And if a child has gym the first trimester this year, and the following year they have it on the third, they have to wait over a year for the class. Children as well as adults are forgetful when routine is broken, especially if it's not implemented at home to have a healthy lifestyle. Many children don't have the financial needs to have art supplies at home or only listen to the top pop songs on the radio. Another thing I'd like to address is I understand when positions need to change to help reduce class sizes or to fill a vacancy, but with respect to Lincoln, there are many involuntary transfers that are in no way linked to the STEAM or repurposing of the teachers. Having 1 or 2 teachers stay in their grade level is unacceptable. Teachers are used to their grade levels and know what is best suited for them. It takes teachers 2 years to adjust, so our students need to wait 2 years till they get adjusted. Teachers lean on each other for support, and that support system is now weakened, as we just heard. Staff members are overwhelmed and feel underappreciated. I would like to talk about the LEAP program, but we're under time. Sherry pointed out most of the points I want to address. My son, he usually goes to bed really early. He's unable to attend, but he did write a letter for you to read on another time. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Susan Giralamoni. My address is 15 Streamside Lane. I'm the administrator at the New Britain Transitional Center. I speak on behalf of myself when I say that the phrase I've kept with me as we move forward with this transformation is what Mrs. Sarah has stated at the stakeholder events and at other times, that all of us in the New Britain School District are working tirelessly for our students, yet we remain at the bottom, if you will. As a teacher, I have worked at the elementary, middle, and high school, as well as in the alternative setting, and I wholeheartedly agree with that statement that all of us are working very hard daily to educate our students. Yet, given all we do year after year, we are not seeing the growth that we should for most of our children. I appreciate that with the support of Mrs. Sarah, Mrs. Grant, and others at Central Office, the New Britain Transitional Center is finally on the map. When Nancy says we are here to educate all students, she means all, even those who have been unable to be successful anywhere else within our district due to their high need for support. She has supported yoga at our building, helping students with frequent dysregulation begin to internalize some self-regulation skills, which they can carry with them both in and outside of school. She fully supports our implementation of specialized classroom management, a behavioral approach that falls under the Boys Town umbrella, which teaches specific skills to students needing direct instruction with behavioral skill development. This year, using this model at NBTC, student engagement, time spent in class, has improved greatly. I am looking forward to working with Mrs. Sarah and the rest of the district to continue to move all students in a direction which will ensure them a bright future. Thank you.
Keefline. I live at 76 Laurel Road, and I'm a current senior at New Britain High School. Although I understand the intent of the new block scheduling at New Britain High School, I do not think that it is in the best interest of the students. Even with the new schedule for the 2017-2018 school year, I know many students who weren't able to organize their schedule in a way that would fit all of their classes. I know other students who were not able to take all of the classes they had hoped to because they couldn't replace their lunch with a class. As a current senior at New Britain High School, I think the schedule that was most beneficial for me was the one we had my freshman through junior year. The high school has so many wonderful classes that I have had the opportunity to take, and I would hate for current and future students not to have the same opportunities I did. A program like Mindset could be great to give a block-style schedule to the students who need it, but the new planned schedule limits higher-achieving students from opportunities that could help them with college and their careers. When I was in 8th grade, I seriously considered attending a magnet school. After taking Spanish in elementary school at Del Reto and being involved in the arts programs, I decided that New Britain High School had the best opportunities for me. I fear that if other students are not given the opportunity to take part in multiple electives, like a language and an arts class, many 8th graders will decide to attend a magnet school instead of New Britain High School. For many students I know, their involvement in an arts class is the reason they come to school every day. Forcing students to choose between a language that will look good on a college application and an arts class that they really enjoy is unfair and not in the best interest of that student. The opportunities and education I received at New Britain High School have given me the opportunity to attend Boston College this fall. I hope that future students will have the same opportunities and experience that I did at the high school. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ramaz Bashir. I am a senior at New Britain High School. My favorite teacher, who is now leaving because of the act that you guys are trying to pass, once told me that if the government allows you to protest, that it's not a protest, it's just a mere public display for people in office. And I want that to stick with you right now. Why? Well, for the simple reason. Nancy, you're the one who told me that I should protest for what I believe in. You marched with us during the March for Our Lives. You were there. You said you believed in us. You said you were going to help us. And now this is something that's going to hurt all of the students, no matter what kind of ranking you guys believe that will push us up. Doesn't matter if we have the lowest rank, because as long as the students get their education, then that's all that should matter to you guys. In this crowd, I only know 2 of your faces. Only 2 of your faces even seem familiar to me. While all these rest of these teachers, I've seen every single day, but you guys are the one making the exact decision for their lives and mine. The majority of these teachers are parents to us. We see them more than we see our own parents who work 2 jobs. It's not fair. As you guys know, that I am a Muslim. I am fasting right now, so my patience is very, very little. I haven't eaten in 14 hours. But I wanted to make it a point. You guys cannot do this to us. My little brother is going to be a freshman next year, and he needs all the opportunities possible. And you guys making this block segment of a schedule is only going to hurt him more. And he's going to end up losing the teachers that I love and I will protect with everything. These teachers are more to me than just teachers. They've been there after school for hours. Please don't pass this. Don't let down your teachers and your students who have supported you this entire time. They're the ones who put you in office. Thank you.
not on the list. I'm requesting to be able to speak. My name is Sheila Foss Swanson. I live at 209 Vine Street. I am a resident of New Britain and a teacher at Chamberlain Elementary School. My 3 children went to New Britain schools and graduated with honors. They all graduated from college with honors and are now gainfully employed and live full, happy lives. I credit much of their success to New Britain teachers. Although there have been many superintendents throughout the years of my children's schooling and my 17 years of teaching, one thing has remained constant, and that is the amazing work and dedication of New Britain teachers. That has never changed. I myself made the decision to return to CCSU to pursue a teaching career after spending a large amount of time at Gaffney School as a PTO mom when my children were learning and growing there. I knew I wanted to become a reading specialist. I also knew that to be a great reading specialist, I needed to teach in the classroom first. My plan was to teach 5 to 10 years in the classroom and then secure a reading position. I taught in the classroom for 9 years and was then awarded a reading position. For the last 8 years, I have proudly served New Britain students and teachers as a reading specialist. I have supported and collaborated with teachers and provided Tier 3 reading instruction for students who are at risk of lifelong reading difficulties. I provide small group instruction for Tier 3 students. My work is differentiated and specific to each student's needs. My lessons are based on a very detailed understanding of each student and where they need to improve. Without reading specialists, classroom teachers will bear the responsibility not only for Tier 1 and 2 students, but now have the added burden of individually differentiating for all the Tier 3 students as well. Nancy Sarah has stated at her dinner meetings that reading intervention is not working. What elementary school data does she base this statement on? As reading specialists in this district service about 1,000 children each year. Now my position has been eliminated to make way for STEAM and collaboration at NBU. Reading intervention works when it is implemented by reading specialists with fidelity. As a reading specialist, I want to be part of the positive changes in New Britain. STEAM is a good addition to our curriculum, which I support. However, eliminating reading support for teachers and students at the expense of implementing STEAM and collaboration will not improve reading scores in the district. It is also unlikely that pulling teachers away from the classroom for 1/2 day each week for collaboration at NBU will allow teachers the time they need to teach a full year's curriculum. I would like to advocate for well-planned and well-thought-out changes that meet the needs of our students. The research shows that RTI works and reading specialists are a valuable part of the teaching staff in New Britain. I want to use the expertise and degrees I worked so hard to achieve. In eliminating reading specialist positions, students will not have access to individualized and differentiated instruction that goes beyond the classroom. Eliminating reading specialist positions and reassigning us to the classroom will just produce more teachers who struggle to meet the overwhelming needs of children Tier 1, 2, and 3 in the classroom. Please consider reinstating reading specialist positions in New Britain for the sake of the Tier 3 reading students who deserve to become lifelong readers and learners. Don't they deserve to experience the success that my children enjoy? Thank you.
One second. So if there's anyone, I'm going to do the 3 calls now. That way you have time to make your way up to the podium. If there's anyone else who would like to address the board. Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the board? You have to. Anyone else who would like to address the board? Last and final time. You are not standing in the middle aisle. Please do not step forward after this moment so that we can proceed with our meeting. I thank you so much for your participation in this process, and I thank you all for being so patient and being so supportive of your colleagues.
Hello, I'm Shanika Leon, junior at New Britain High School. I was just informed about this meeting today, so I'm a little unprepared, but I just wanted to let it be known. I know the music department was really talked about today. Some of the other clubs and great attributes that are at New Britain High weren't. I'm part of the Child Development chapter at New Britain High, and I benefited from it. I took multiple classes. I know I may not be the best student, you know, not the best student, but Ms. Gammy, Ms. Frioli have been really strong, you know, figures in my life, whether it be schoolwork, keeping me on track, making sure emotionally I'm okay, you know. They've taught me a lot. I work at the Boys and Girls Club, and I've, you know, stuff I've learned in child development, I've been able to use in dealing with, you know, children misbehaving, you know, emotional problems, any type of conflict at the Boys Club, and it's been beneficial to me. I wanted, you know, teaching is a backup plan, and to see the politics behind it isn't so beautiful. And as Glamour says it seems, there's a lot of teachers and staff in this room that has supported me, and to hear, you know, their stories or to know similar stories are happening to them isn't really, you know, that welcoming and warming. I would just, you know, want to say, like, to be mindful of who all these laws are affecting. You know, the president we have today kind of seems like this right here is like a reflection of our government, and that's a bold statement, I know. I'm okay with it. It's sad to say, but it is, in my eyes, what's going on, and I just wanted, like, maybe you guys should put yourself in our shoes. I know for sure, if I would have to stand a 3-hour class, one classroom for 3 hours, I'm not coming to school. Like, that's just the simple fact. Like, that's not an environment I want to be in. You know, I get to get up, I have that 5-minute break, I get to walk to class, you know, say hi to Miss Matador in the hallway, you know, walk around, move my legs. Those are, you know, moments I look forward to. When's class gonna be over? You know, gotta get my work in before. Those are moments, you know, I look forward to, and those moments being taken away, I wouldn't, you know, want to be in that environment. I have 2 younger sisters that are in New Britain schools, and I was a full support of, I want to come back to New Britain after college, and I want my kids to go through New Britain high schools, and if this is the reality of what New Britain High is going to become, I don't think I can be a support of that. And it's sad to say, because I really truly want to be, but yeah, I just want to be mindful of that. I was a part of the panel to go to Slade to persuade middle schoolers to, you know, have their parents and put them in the New Britain High. And I don't want to have to regret that decision, because this is something I wasn't informed before going to that panel, because it wasn't discussed. And I would just, you know, like to have you guys be mindful of that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jenny Tabone. I'm currently reside at 109 Linden Street, and currently I attend Central, but I went through the New Britain public school system, and it's very sad to come here today because I've never been to a Board of Ed meeting before, but this is my first time because I'm actually passionate about these problems that's happening. For the first point I want to touch upon is teachers being relocated to places that they may not be certified for. I'm going to Central because they're known as an school to prepare educators. I would like to become a Spanish teacher one day. And to hear that story about a Spanish teacher being relocated to 2nd grade that she has no real experience in is very sad, because if I have children in 2nd grade, I'd want them to be with a teacher who loves teaching 2nd grade and who is with 2nd graders all the time. And as I went through the public school system, I had teachers who supported me every step of the way, because unfortunately, like many other kids that attend New Britain schools, our parents aren't there for us all the time. So the teachers that we see 8 hours a day are the people that we see for the most part that help us to get us through tough problems. I had teachers who were there for me when my parents couldn't be because they had to be working 2 to 3 jobs. And the fact that maybe my teacher would be moved to a different grade, or if they were in the same school, they would be moved to a different school where I would not be able to see them, is very disheartening. The fact that people who support us and that are with us, and the whole point of a teacher is to help your students, to motivate them, and they won't be able to motivate me if they're moved. Another point that I would like to bring up to make this short is the block system, or the blocking scheduling. I am a student at New Britain who graduated from New Britain High last year. I graduated at the top 10%, and that was thanks to all the electives. Currently at Central, I saved $10,000 on my first year because I am now a sophomore. That was thanks to all of the electives that I was able to take, whether it be AP classes, my Spanish classes, the Health Academy courses that I was enrolled in. And if I were starting as a freshman next year and I could only take one elective, it would not help me be able to excel as I have so far and be able to succeed in college. And that's the whole point of high school, to help the kids be able to succeed further in life. Sorry. And my point is just, in order for them to succeed, they need to have the options. Like many people have stated before, a lot of kids just wait for that one period where they have maybe Spanish, or whether they have band or art or whatever it may be. If they're not able to take that class, how can they be motivated to go to school? Attendance has been a big problem at New Britain High. It has been for a while, but taking away the one thing that motivates kids to go isn't going to help them go more. It's only going to make them be like, well, why go if I only have art? If I can only take art, I can't take Spanish, or I can't take this. And again, a lot of the requirements that they need, like the electives, like a modern language, if I would have to choose between a language which is required by college and I would have to choose a biomedical course which I'm interested in, I would take, as a low-income student, I would have to take the Spanish because I don't have time to earn money to throw around at university and stuff like that. So this is, of course, just speaking of my own problem, but many other kids in the district face it. I've seen it. I know these kids because I grew up with them. And it's very sad that they won't be able to choose whether to be successful in college or have fun in high school. Thank you.
My bad. Hi, my name is Paula Bronner, and I'm also a graduate. I don't want it to be toast.
And put your name on the paper, honey.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're fine.
Hi, so my name is Paula Bronner, and I as well am a graduate from New Britain High School. I now attend CCSU, and I want to speak about the block schedule situation as well. So I went to New Britain my entire life. I went to Gaffney, then Howes, and now I'm in New Britain. And thankfully now I'm in college. So I feel like a thing that has really helped me succeed in college was all the extracurriculars. For example, right now I'm going into college. Well, I went into college my freshman year with 31 credits already. And that was thankful because I was able to take credits like AP Art, AP Spanish, AP Psychology, AP Environmental, and those all accumulated to 31 credits, which is basically 1 year of college already done. So if we do this scheduling where they can only take one elective, that really takes away from all the advantages they could go into college with. I essentially saved $20,000 by taking all these classes. And this is a really great advantage, especially to kids who are economically disadvantaged, that might be taken away from them. And I feel like numbers, you hear the numbers and that really sits in your head like, wow, $20,000. My bad. Another thing I would like to say is, if you would have to decide between Spanish or art per se, that would be a tremendous disadvantage. Me, for one, I'm in college now for art education, and I'm also doing a Spanish minor, actually. So that would be very hard because I needed the Spanish and the art to do what I want to do. So having to choose would actually really put me at a disadvantage. Actually, I changed my major a couple times too, so if it wasn't for all, if it wasn't for all the extra credits I got in high school, I would actually be in a 5-year plan instead of a 4-year plan. So you can see how it's really benefited me. I can imagine it benefiting so many other kids, not even just the high-level kids, even the lower-level kids that are taking classes like AP Art, for example. So I feel like it's not only helping us, but everyone in the school by having elective classes. So I feel like that's something we should take into consideration, all the money that anyone could save by taking advantage of all the things New Britain High School has to offer us. So yeah, that's my point. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Arelis Cali. I have been a loyal and proud member of the New Britain staff for 32 years. 23 out of those 32 years have been as a guidance counselor at the middle school, at the high school, and again at the middle school. I am more than my certification. For the past 4 years, I have been privileged to serve the children of Pulaski Middle School both in the 7th and the 8th grade. I take pride and pleasure in my job, in the work I do, in the developmental guidance program that I, and only I, implemented at Pulaski Middle School. Every month, I go into the 7th grade classroom and into the 8th grade classroom where I work with the children through the social studies curriculum, teaching them about social skills, career, college choices, bullying, harassment, and in general, life skills. I was told 2 weeks ago that I was going to be involuntarily transferred to teach ELD in 5th grade. I am not prepared to teach in 5th grade. Nancy, one of the things that I have always admired about you is your love for elementary school children. Since the first time I met you at the ABET conference in California, I always admired that about you. How can you think, how can this board, or how can whoever came up with this brilliant plan think that someone like myself, unprepared, unexperienced, will be able to service the children in the 5th grade? The teachers will not appreciate it, the administrator will not appreciate it, and certainly the parents will not appreciate it, and the children will not benefit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Frank Medina Sr., and I'm a resident in New Britain at 165 Bay Avenue. I've had 4 boys that's been a product of New Britain High School's education, and they've been a good education. 3 of my boys graduated from New Britain High School. Let's go with 2. We're still waiting for that 1, right, Isaiah? And that's because of the teachers here at New Britain High School. Miss Sarah, I have so much respect for you. You've been involved with my son since he was young and his situation. I don't call it special need, I call it certain needs. And you were always there to implement them at the school since I met you at Jefferson. And the teachers here, they have a place where they're comfortable at. I have a teacher, Miss Vanessa Bernansky, that's just awesome with my son. And Mr. Buckwell, that was with him last year, and all the teachers involved with my son, Isaiah Medina. And it's just to uproot them and send them somewhere else. And it's just comfortability that my son has with the teachers here at New Britain High School. And I just want you to think twice, because the teachers that are in their position, there's a reason they're there. And they've done great. And the faculties at New Britain High School and all the schools that they've been to. I just want you to think twice about this. These teachers are awesome. Thank you.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Gabriel Bermudez. I am a freshman at New Britain High School, and as you all know, I'm here to address about block scheduling. Of course, we all know that it does limit the elective choices, which is very important. I mean, picture this as your student's opportunity, and I mean, by limiting electives, closing the door. We have these opportunities at New Britain High because it prepares students for future lives. Our motto, see it on the website, we are the best at getting better. That's what New Britain High does. People say, oh, New Britain's not good, you know? Why come to Britain? Why? Because we offer great opportunity. Different data electives that are here, you know? I mean, Mr. Zayas, I know I saw you out somewhere. Like, the stuff I learned from him in the medical field, amazing. Since the 3rd grade, I wanted to be a medical chemist, and now I'm getting to live my dream as a freshman. That class, if I score high on that test, AP credit. Parents, I know college is coming, it's like the greatest fear. You gotta pay a bunch of money. And here, listen, AP Bio, AP US History. It's preparing students for a world of opportunities. I mean, many seniors going to college not knowing what they want to do. Well, this prepares them. Learning multiple languages. I mean, imagine applying for a job. Who do you think is going to be more ready for the job? Someone that can only speak Spanish and English, or someone that can speak French, Italian, Polish, Spanish, like, of course. And Miss Sarah, I've known you, you were my principal back when I was little, and you've always been one for change. Like, when I first emailed you, you responded in a flash. Like, I know you're there to help, and personally, I know I had multiple other students, we were up here talking about it, and personally, I think limiting the electives isn't going to benefit students. It's the reason why we have them. Why cut them? You know? Yeah, I don't know much else to say, but I mean, even in the music, I'm not a part of it, but our friends always say how great it is. Walking by, you hear the beautiful music they play. I mean, some people say, hey, it's even better than some colleges. They can't do what our high school does. Many people can't do what New Britain does. I mean, we're viewed as lower, but I mean, we're the underdogs. We rise tall. We have top 10%. We have great gifted students, and that's what these electives do. It makes them better than they already are. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we're going to go through our board reports.
I'd like to say before people leave, as a board report, I was one of the board members who was reached out to this weekend by some parents and took a lot of time out of my weekend to respond. And I know that a lot of the board members up here, we're educators ourselves. Many of the board members are currently educators or former educators, and we care about parent input and we care about teacher input. There is an email address that you can write to, and it will reach every board member, and that's CSDNB.org. Our information is listed publicly. We're publicly elected officials. We're accessible, and you know, I try to take the time whenever a parent approaches me with concerns or a teacher approaches me with concerns to respond thoughtfully. I want to thank those people who came out to speak tonight, and I'd love to see more people come out to some of our committee meetings, our curriculum committee meetings, our board meetings, our personnel and policy committee meetings to get teacher input and to hear more about these. We discuss a lot of issues in those meetings, and not everything can always make it into the minutes, and frankly, not everything makes it into the paper. They're not always there when it's a less than juicy topic. But thank you so much for taking your time now tonight to come and speak to us. I know that we definitely appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time, having these concerns, and I know that some of the issues that were raised tonight are already actively being addressed As some issues were raised with me by parents, I alerted the superintendent of them, and she's already working to address some of these concerns. We try to be responsive, but we can't be if we don't hear from people. So please, and maybe I'm gonna regret it when I get 4,000 phone calls, but honestly, I'll take phone calls. I'll take it, I will spend my weekend replying to people and talking with people because I am passionate about education, and we all want what's best for the children, and we may not always agree on how to get there, but we definitely all want what's best for the children. I have a son myself who attends Lincoln, which was discussed. My daughter is going to go to Lincoln. My children will attend the public schools. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you for those who came out.
I do have a letter that was sent to the board that the writer asked that it be read by a board member at Monday's meeting, and so I am going to do that. And I quote, can you hear me? And I quote, "I'm a member of NBFT Local 871. I'm proud to say I have been an educator in this district for almost 20 years. I write to you as one who is in support of the transformation in our district. I admire Superintendent Sarah for having the courage to try something that's different. I'm excited to be a part of something that stands to benefit our CAPS children, because CAPS, that is who this is all about. Yes, change is hard, it is scary, but how will we know if something will work if we don't try? We cannot keep doing the same thing and expect to get different results. Many teachers like me are afraid to come forward and speak due to the leadership in our local. There was a text going around asking teachers to show up at tonight's meeting to voice their concerns. Unfortunately, the members who are unhappy are the ones that will be heard. From talking to colleagues, I understand that there are maybe 50 people of approximately 800 members in attendance at that meeting. Regarding transfers, teachers feel like they don't understand how they were chosen or why they were shifted in their own schools. I still think there is time to address that. What I'm seeing and hearing is disheartening. We are not showing students how to handle change with dignity. Our members are not being kind to one another. The people I speak on behalf of are a large number. I know many of us in this district have confidence in Ms. Sarah and look forward to working through the problems for a better tomorrow for CAPS, our kids. Thank you for taking the time to share this." End quote.
We will now have the superintendent's report. That's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna microphone around.
Does that microphone work right there? That's all right, so I'll just start. I just want to, before I even begin my report, it's really hard to form your thoughts when so many people are talking, and I'm taking notes as people are talking. So forgive me if I'm not going to have all of the answers and all of those wonderful comments that you wish to hear right now. I don't. But for me, I always look for themes, and the theme is communication. The theme is communication with their teachers and the respect and dignity they deserve when the transfers happen. That's number one. And I'm going to say to you now, I reached out to Mr. Escobalis on Friday morning. He came to my office. I had a meeting with Mr. Escobalis, Mr. Carey, Mr. Ford, and myself to talk about how we can remedy this. I do believe I am a problem solver, and I do believe that the sense of urgency around change is imperative. It doesn't mean we have to go at a rapid pace. It means that we must be urgent with our messaging. But always hearing feedback from you and fixing. And Gabe, I'm gonna look right at you right now. Because last Thursday, I can't remember, I think it was Wednesday,
I got a very eloquent email from Gabe Bermudez. And it wasn't yelling. It was a student who made me very proud because he wants to come to the table to figure out how to fix something. He wasn't calling to bash. He was calling and emailing me to sit down and problem solve. That was the best email I've had all week because I feel we are raising young men and women who understand that when we have problems, we have to come together to fix them. And the first step is communication. And it can't all be one way, me communicating always. It's got to be the members. It's not we, they, it's us. Coming together, not at a time when everyone's heightened, but all along the way. It's the medical model, it's the engineering model, of figuring out what is that problem. We're gonna figure out a solution collectively. Because change, we have to change. We have to change to fix. So Gabe, after your email on Thursday, first thing I did was email Miss Major. Clear your schedule. We're coming together to figure out this schedule problem at the high school. We put our heads together for 4 or 5 hours. We thought we came up with something decent. Now we're handing it over to the next level. The academy folks, the CTE teachers, because we know that it isn't one size fits all for every student in New Britain. We know that. So how can we get the best of both worlds so that all of our students have the opportunities they need? Because some students are going to want to access CTE and the band. How can we do it? But without voices of our young men and women who come to the table and present us with an opportunity to work together to fix it, that's what makes me proud every day. We have to change. Yes, your voices are important. And I'll bring back the word communication. I felt over the last 3 months, and I hope my words are not turned around, that I had a communication plan that was solid. I felt that I have been talking 20 hours a day for the last 6 months, but it's not enough, and I have to do something different. To our families out there, you're a part of the communication plan, of course, but I've made a mistake, and I didn't communicate earlier to our families. But I want to say to you, Gabe, the person who rolls up their sleeves and tries to solve a problem is not going to get it right the first time. It's that persistence, that resiliency that we need to model for our students, that we're not going to get it right, but we won't give up. Because there is a solution to the problem so that I can help 10,000 children have access to the very same curriculum that all of you came out to speak to tonight. My charge now is so much bigger than the 500, that there are nights that I do not sleep worrying about the 10,000. And on top of that, and I got a beautiful text from a former teacher to say, we believe in you, but you have to take feedback too. Understood. My door is open, but it can't be coming at someone in an adversarial way. It needs to be, let's come to the table together. The hard part from going from principal to a superintendent, there's about 7 layers in between of different stakeholder groups, and it's a moving problem that's larger than I've ever tried to solve. And I can't do this alone. It's with all of you. So the feedback tonight, and you could have 600 here, and I will take it as positive feedback because we have to fix. I have to fix how I communicated to my families. Don't expect it tomorrow, it's probably not going to happen. I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't quit, and I don't give up. And when I make a mistake, I will admit it. I am not shamed when people come and speak out. It makes my resolve all the stronger to get it right. and to include you in the solutions. So thank you for coming out tonight. I have to thank my husband who's here. I told him I'd embarrass him. New Britain is my heartbeat. These 10,000 children mean more to me than I can even express. But the 1,500 staff mean more to me too. And that's been a big struggle, to balance the needs of students to the needs of the adults. And it's always trying to find the balance of how I can do that and ensure that the students who didn't come here tonight and my moms and dads that don't have the skills to come and advocate for themselves are heard. I have to advocate for 10,000. So understand that there's a balance, and we may come to the table together, and I might walk away and say, I didn't get it exactly my way, and you might say the same thing. But let's create a better tomorrow for 10,000. Thank you. Oh, I know, they always get, no, but I do, I have 2 reports tonight. This is exciting, this part gets good now. I do have a community partner update, and I have several of our community partners here to speak on some really neat things, some awards that we're getting, followed by a transportation update, because that's another one of our very big problems that we've been solving over the last 6 months. And so I want to just keep the board abreast of those things. So if the community partners that signed up could come on up to the podium, I'm going to bring the microphone to you. All right. Ellie. Oh. I got it. Thank you.
Not only are we working here, but we're AV technicians.
We don't need the AV team, we've got this.
Thanks, Gabe.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Good evening. My name is Tracy Madden-Hennessy. I'm the Associate Director at the YWCA and also a member of the Coalition for New Britain's Youth. I'm happy to share some information on a collaborative project that is being spearheaded by the Coalition and aligns itself with work going on in the district. As you're aware, several years ago, the district used a Search Institute survey to survey middle and high school students for the presence of assets in their lives. Assets are defined as the internal and external supports youth need to grow up in a healthy way. Results indicated that New Britain students lack sufficient numbers of these assets, particularly those related to connections, placing them at risk. The after-school community works closely at many schools with district administrators and teachers. We've been trained in well-managed classroom techniques and participated in some of the trainings on trauma along with district staff. We have watched and experienced how powerful and successful our work can be when it's in partnership and aligned with the district. We believe that the trauma-informed work of the district could be extended if after-school programmers took the same intentional approach to teaching youth social and emotional development skills. Therefore, as part of our community-wide after-school training, we began a project beginning at the middle school level, using tools developed by the Weichert Center called Preparing to Thrive. An assessment, training, and coaching model after-school staff have been participated in training by Weichert and others on trauma-informed practice, programming, and supervision, in addition to methods classes on social-emotional skill instruction. Coaches, through community mental health affiliates, are working with some of us to increase our proficiency in this area, or to provide complementary services like that of professionally run support groups integrated into our programs. We're beginning to meet with district staff so we can further align our work with the school to create a common language and understanding so we better complement the school day moving forward. None of this would have been possible without the prior work of the district and the coalition, and without Nancy's vision and openness to partnerships. The community district partnership is recognized both statewide and nationally as innovative, as well as an example of best practice. Recently, after-school providers had the opportunity to listen to a presentation by staff from American Savings Foundation, who have been studying the impact of after-school on New Britain youth success for many years. Their data substantiates what we know and what we've recognized for a while. Community programmers working in tandem with teachers and schools make a positive difference in the lives of our students. Graduation rates, teen pregnancy, and overall life and academic success improves. The YWCA has been proud to be part of these efforts. We believe it's imperative that we help support Nancy's vision and that the community work together to make a difference in the lives of children. None of us fails alone or achieves success alone either. As a community, we've been more successful when we open ourselves up and take risks. Although not easy, many of our strongest successes as a community have come from non-traditional approaches. I and the YWCA look forward to continuing to work with Nancy to build a better future for New Britain's children and youth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Hernandez. I'm the coordinator for community engagement at Central, where I'm responsible for facilitating campus community partnerships. Our partnerships with the local school districts are highly valued and critical to our community engagement efforts. Under Superintendent Nancy Serra's leadership, CCSU's partnerships in the districts have increased almost 35% in just 2 years. Her open door policy and commitment to educating and understanding the whole child has helped the CCSU Anna Grace Project expand to more schools in the district. In doing so, students and teachers are being provided with essential resources for social, emotional learning, and CCSU has opportunities to reinforce our commitment to New Britain's youth. The new Upward Bound Math and Science grant that was acquired in partnership with the district is allowing us to provide an additional 65 high school students with intensive academic college preparatory support yearly, encouraging students to pursue STEM and STEAM majors, contributing to high school graduation and college enrollment in the district. We're also very pleased at productive conversations between the superintendent and staff that have led to more intentional approaches to our dual enrollment partnerships that have existed in the district. This fall, we will launch a pilot program enabling 25 high school students in this fall semester alone to take courses for credit at Central in journalism, communications, and then in additional STEM majors. On a personal note, I've witnessed the superintendent's thoughtful, strategic approach to balancing the needs and resources of the district with CCSU's desire to expand partnerships within the district. Sometimes we come with great ideas that may not necessarily be the right time for the district, and we appreciate Nancy's ability to tell us we sometimes have to wait. The Office of Community Engagement is hopeful about continued growth and mutually beneficial partnerships with the district that benefit our students and our faculty just as much as we hope they help and encourage the community in which we're housed. We look forward to working with the superintendent, the administrators, and teachers who create a caring and nurturing environment for New Britain's youth and providing and expanding more opportunities for our campus community to engage in New Britain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, sorry, I'm very short. Okay, good evening. My name is Kimberly Russo. I'm the executive director of the Fund for Greater Hartford, which is a private foundation, and we provide support here in New Britain. One of the best parts of my position is that I actually get to work in multiple communities, and all of these communities have their own way of doing business and their own priorities. The fund is particularly proud to work here in New Britain in partnership with committed community members and institutions like the school district, because at the heart of that work is the shared desire to see children, families, and individuals succeed. I regularly brag about all the work happening in New Britain, not only here in the state, but actually across the country.
It's not new knowledge to all of you that we have a lot of work to accomplish, but we couldn't do it without leaders who have a vision, like Nancy and yourselves, who understand and value that we have to work together as partners. Over the years, I've worked with many school districts, and all of them have similar challenges, especially with regards to funding and meeting performance expectations. The increase in mental health needs of students and families, as well as our state's growing population of individuals that cannot make ends meet, further coupled with the increasing lack of funding, creates an environment where we all need to work collaboratively to continue to move forward in the face of this adversity. New Britain has a head start on this due to long-standing partnerships that have been formed over the years and a group of strong visionary leaders. Nancy has been at the table for many of those partnerships, whether she was a principal or superintendent. The Federal Reserve Bank of Boston recently conducted a research project rating cities in Connecticut on their level of social capital. It was no surprise to me that New Britain was rated as one of the communities with the highest level of social capital. Others will or have shared numerous examples of partnerships, and I am extremely proud to say that I have been part of that work, not only with sweat equity, but also financial support over the past 14 years. I appreciate you allowing myself and others to share these examples, and I hope that you find pride as leaders in these efforts and continue to shout that from the rooftops, just like every single one of us do every day. Thank you.
Hello. Well, hi, my name is Robin Lamont Sparks. I'm the Executive Director for the Coalition for New Britain's Youth, which you've heard a little bit about tonight. The Coalition's membership is comprised of over 40 organizations, government agencies, and the school district who are working together to align and leverage our resources to improve the lives of our youth from birth to 24. Because of our close working relationship with the school district, New Britain is the envy of cities and towns, not just in Connecticut, but across the country. And as you know, this collaboration and our successes working together to combat chronic absenteeism, reduce summer learning loss, and improve grade level reading were a major reason the National Civic League named New Britain an All-American City in both 2016 and 2017. Today, I'm thrilled to share with you even more good news. This year, the Campaign for Grade Level Reading will once again name New Britain a pace-setter community because we have strengthened our alignment and collaboration as a community over the years to garner even more sustainable and bigger improvements for our children. In addition, the district's summer enrichment experience will be highlighted as a Bright Spot program by the campaign at their national convening in Philadelphia this summer. And Superintendent Nancy Serra, Attendance Director Joe Vavracek, the YWCA's Associate Director Tracy Madden Hennessy, and the State Department of Education's Chief Operating Officer Charlene Russell Tucker are all being inducted into campaign's National Council of Champions for their relentless work to increase reading levels of our youngest residents so that they all have more hopeful futures. We will be hosting a community-wide event to celebrate this honor in early fall. Without the dedication and commitment of the school district, its staff, and Superintendent Serra to work with members of the community to tackle the tough issues our children and families face, we would never have achieved these kinds of accolades and successes. Members of the coalition believe that the community has a responsibility to look after all of our children. No single organization can solve the issues our families face. And as you've previously heard, our work is far from over. However, with the strength of our community partnerships, the vision of Superintendent Serra, and our collective belief that the needs of our children and families must come first, I have no doubt that we will continue to be an example for others in the country on how communities can and should work together. Thank you.
I feel like I'm last but not least. I'm Paulette Fox. I'm the Executive Director of Opportunities Industrialization Center, known as OIC. And I also do instructor. I'm a former teacher, and that's important because I've been doing this work for 33 years in partnership with the school district. OIC would not even be around if it was not the partnership we had with the district. I'm excited because for the first time in my 33 years, I am going to be working with this young lady, developing a program for Brookside. Now, one thing I didn't see tonight is those parents of those students and those really at-risk, low, moderate students, because they're working. And why I know, because I live in the community and serve, probably touch about 1,000 students a year. So I wish everybody had kind of stayed a little bit longer to understand that we've got a big job ahead of us. And programs like Brookside, preparing the workforce, preparing students who have been kind of expelled or, you know, not fitting in, they need a place too, because that's the future workforce. And I'm a member of the New Britain Chamber, I'm on their board. We need employees, and programs like Brookside to have OIC enhance the school day. It's not a standalone. After-school programs are not standalones. We are part of a system. And I'm so excited that when we sit down to talk about Brookside and to look at extending the day, not longer, but adding curriculum around social, emotional, culinary with cultural diversity, and fitness with Media Smart, combining those skills with their school day so that they come to us at the back end about 11 to 1, so that they will leave with a positive note that they can be somebody and they can fit in. That's why I came tonight. And I hope that you continue to support the structure that we have in place. Thank you, Nancy, for being supportive of OIC and the community partners. And I do have a letter from somebody that had to work tonight that he had to meet with parents because the time to meet with our parents sometime is after 8 o'clock. So I'll give it to Nancy since she's Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Are we supposed to read that, or?
No, you don't have to read it.
Okay.
Madam Chair. Sure. I'd like to make a motion for a brief 5-minute recess.
You have a second? Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? We're now going to have an update on the 2018-2019 fiscal year budget presented by Mr. Kevin Kane, followed by the consent agenda, so please take a minute to gaze at that as well. If there's anything you'd like to take off following his presentation.
Okay, it's a very, is this signing on or not? Oh, no, it's okay, I can yell.
No!
I can yell too.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh, okay. Is this like the mic?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
The mic.
This is cute. Oh, karaoke.
Yes, karaoke. Whoa.
That's pretty wild.
What can I say?
By the way, Dr. Sanders told me to keep this short tonight, so I have to.
I put it at 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, Jeff, turn it on. And go. Okay, well, I guess I don't have the clicker. So that's going to really help me. Where's the clicker?
I'll be the clicker.
Where's the clicker? Where's the thing? Oh, okay.
You're the clicker? I'll be the clicker.
You can click it. Okay. Jeez.
Okay.
I can't click.
I'll be the clicker.
Okay, really quickly. We just received news last week. ECS funding increased by approximately $2.2 million, and that's really the Alliance Fund. So, that is positive news. We also received last week our rate increase for health insurance. All along we were being told that's probably be in the single digits. It's 15%, or just slightly under. It's 14.9 some change. The change in health insurance really equates to $2 million one something. It's a $12,000 differential. So really the ECS money, it's very important, but it really just covered the health insurance increase. When you look at the $2.2 million, you really have to keep in mind that our operating budget is approximately $126 million. Our budgets along with our grants are approximately $160 million. So when you really think about that, that's like a 1.3% of what we currently have in the current fiscal year. Now if you turn the page, right now I am right now through all the changes, putting the budget together. The preliminary budget as of Saturday And there's not going to be many changes to it. It's approximately $127.7 million. The adopted budget we currently have is $125.7. If we do not receive any additional funding from the city of New Britain, we have really a shortfall of $2 million. I footnoted down below, if the district is not funded a funding increase, in order to adopt the preliminary budget, really means the district's going to have to take some options. And if that's the budget, we're going to have to, one of the options would be to dip into self-insurance fund. $2 million is quite a bit. When you look at this year, the operating budget, if you look at and you don't have it in front of you, in the May 7th report, we had the March financials. And if you look at the March financials for the self-insurance fund, we're trending at 15.3% higher than the prior fiscal year. So really, that, when you look at the 15%, there's probably some rationale behind it. If we don't receive enough funding, there are programs that can be reduced. I mean, one of the things that was spoken tonight was Italian, but there's other programs that can get reduced in the budget. So there's really a need from the city to, hopefully increase the funding. That's it. Any questions?
That's it.
It's very short and brief.
Good job.
Get down there.
Thank you.
As soon as I said it. Yeah, I think it's here like that. Look at it while you were in front of it.
Madam Chair, before we move on to the consent agenda, I just want to take a second to acknowledge and thank there are several grants on there.
Yes.
I just want to thank the United Way for a $60,000 grant for I'd like to thank the United Way for a $60,000 grant towards our summer our summer C program and our extreme summer programs, as well as $2,000 from Liberty Bank, which is going towards our adult education, and finally $500 from Mr. Paul Baylock for the New Britain High School Fine Arts Scholarship. Obviously, every time we get donations, grants, etc., they just help make our financial situation a little more tenable and help us continue to provide some of those great programming. So thank you to those grantees and donations.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any items on the consent agenda that we would like to remove?
Item C.
Okay. Seeing none others. Item C, personnel, to approve the personnel transactions.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel transactions with the friendly amendment of the 2 additional items that are in our board packet. The additional blue sheets.
Okay. Is second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of making the friendly amendment to add the 2? Okay, so we can just vote on that. Okay. All those in favor of approving the personnel transactions with the amendment of the 2 additional walk-ins for this evening, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We don't have to vote. All right, new business. Okay. Approve the bid waiver for engaging schools to provide professional development for PK through 12 administrators is item A on new business.
Motion? We'll take
What do we do? Okay. It's been taken off.
Okay. Motion to postpone indefinitely.
Great.
Second.
Any others?
Anything else?
E as well? Motion to postpone.
Motion to postpone item B as well.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Any others?
Anything else?
Good? Okay. All right. right, operations, to approve the bid waiver and purchase order for the workstations in middle school culinary classrooms.
Motion.
Discussion? Anybody need any background information? Okay. All those in favor of the bid waiver to purchase the workstations for middle school culinary classrooms signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Great. All right, and we just heard about this one, which is the finance, which is D, to approve the 2% ECS set-aside grant budget and narrative.
Motion. Second.
Discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving the 2% ECS set-aside grant budget and narrative, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the last one is, I need a motion.
Motion for executive session.
Regarding a personnel matter.
Yeah, personnel matter, an update on personnel matters, to include Dr. Shalana Tucker, Ms. Nancy Sarah,
Dr. Sanders.
and Dr. Sanders.
Motion.
Yep. Second? Perfect. We are now in exit. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is going to be the last item that we are handling this evening. Thank you very much.